Oh,
Hello everyone, John Cooper here once again to do another movie discussion, this time with Gerard.
oh,
I remember him from one of my Doctor Who discussions, I believe series 11, episode 9. But anyway, no
yeah.
Swiss... Alright, well. No Swiss with me this time, instead it'll just be with him. Anyway, and we're here to discuss what is considered the finale of the Fox's X-Men franchise, Dark Phoenix.
And what a ride it's been.
What?
And what a ride it's been.
Oh yeah. Gone from Ritzy to great, poor, great again, poor again. Let's see. Let's see. But anyway, on to the movie, but we'll get more into that later. But first, quick summary of the movie. Let's see. The film starts with, let's see, a young Jean Grey, probably around 8 years old. Let's see, accidentally using her mutant powers in a car, having an argument with her parents, seemingly killing them both. And then being taken by Professor Charles Xavier to the X-Men school. See, into the 90s now, because the X-Men movies keep jumping 10 years into the future. Let's see, the X-Men have now become super popular, and the Earth's hero team have been requested by the President of the United States to go rescue some men trapped in some, let's see, space shuttle, which is critically damaged by a solar flare-like energy. Let's see, the X-Men team, of course, consists of, let's see, the same members it had at the end of Apocalypse: Mystique, Beast, Storm, Jean Grey, Cyclops, let's see, Nightcrawler, I think it is. Yeah, it's Nightcrawler. And Quicksilver. Let's see. During the rescue thing, let's see. At first, they rescue most of the pilots, thanks to Quicksilver and let's see, and Nightcrawler. Let's see, the captain of the shuttle's left behind, so we need Nightcrawler and Jean Grey in the rescue. Unfortunately, just as a solar flare is crashing into the shuttle, Nightcrawler has to quickly escape with just the captain, while the solar flare blasts the shuttle with Jean inside. But the solar flare, goes inside Jean Grey, and she somehow survives. Let's see. The X-Men go back to the mansion where all the teens are partying. Oh, and Cyclops and, let's see, Jean are in a relationship, which happened off screen between the two films. Let's see. While Xavier goes to party at the White House, I believe, or accepting some award. While, let's see, before that, Mystique expresses her critique of how the X-Men are doing things right now under Charles. And later expresses her concern to the Beast, asking if he wants to go. Let's see if they should leave together. Is your static okay?
Yeah, okay.
It just feels like it's moving everywhere. Let's see. During this time, Jean keeps getting, let's see, mental blocks. Let's see, keeps remembering her past. Let's see, even remembering that her father might be alive. Let's see. She accidentally ruins the party by giving out the biggest explosives, and eventually leaves the mansion to find her father. Only to find out her father did not actually want to keep raising her. And Ritzy asked Charles to do it because he can no longer be around her, given the fact that given the fact that Jean killed her mother, his wife. X-Men arrive, and due to Jane losing control of her powers, ends up losing control, blowing a few police cars, and accidentally killing Mystique. Let's see. During this time, an alien race is coming down to Earth called the Dabari, where the Queen kills this woman. Take her appearance and killing, all her friends and family at the dinner table from the looks of it. The Dabari have also infiltrated other places, including the White House, with someone being in charge of the FBI, from what I can tell. Let's see. Yeah, besides Mystique being killed, Quicksilver is fatally injured. leaving him out of the rest of the movie. Let's see. Jean eventually goes to an island where, let's see, Magneto is now in charge with mutant refugees who want to live in the island in peace. Jean is trying to get some, let's see, advice from, let's see, Magneto, but he's questioning the bloodstain Jean had on her shirt, asking whose blood is that, and assuming that she has killed someone. At the same time, the military arrives to show up, demanding Jean's arrest. Magneto at first is reluctant, but then Jean comes in and causes quite massive destruction to the helicopters. Let's see, and maybe even some of the soldiers, with Magneto trying to help them to leave, and then demands that Jean leaves. She does. Let's see. During her, let's see, exile, let's see, the Barbary Queen ends up meeting Jane and telling her what the thing that went inside her is. Let's see. Let's see, a cosmic force of power that both creates and destroys life, and even destroyed her homeworld. And telling Jean that she is the first person to survive its power, showing that she can do incredible things. During, as let's see, the X-Men are doing a funeral, let's see, Beast is finally furious at, let's see, Charles, and it seems like the government and the president has disconnected all contact with him. Meanwhile, let's see, the students are debating about Jean Grey and whether or not she can come back or not, particularly Cyclops and Storm. Let's see, Beast goes to Magneto and reveals that, let's see, Mystique was killed by Jean. Let's see, Magneto vows to kill her, and with him, along with Beast and the two other mutants, go to kill her. During the same time, Charles leads a group of X-Men. Let's see, what's left of the X-Men with Nightcrawler, Storm, and Cyclops to try and prevent Magneto and Beast from killing Jean. Let's see. Even though everyone's still kind of mad at him for blocking Jean's actual memories of her father being still alive and not telling the truth. Let's see. Charles Xavier tries to persuade, let's see, Eric not to do this, but he's not listening because he's tired of his constant speeches of no, the usual speeches he does, and the price ensures. Eventually, Magneto gets to Jean Grey, but she is too powerful for him. Let's see, eventually Cyclops and, let's see, Professor X go to her. Let's see, and they try to persuade her not to do this. Eventually, they manage to, like Charles Xavier, admitting he was wrong. This eventually, of course, convinces Jean that she's done a terrible mistake and wants the Barbary Queen to take away the powers. She tries to drain so, but it's revealed that she intends to wipe out humanity and make the Earth her own planet. Of course, let's see, the X-Men manage to successfully separate Jean from her, let's see, but they all end up being captured and taken away on the train. Let's see. The train thing, let's see, the X-Men and Magneto's side all make up, let's see, trying to, say that Jean must see that this is not what Mystique would want, and that Mystique would want to protect Jean. Just as the train is attacked by, the Barbary Queen Bulk, I believe, and her Barbary forces. The mutants, the soldiers are easily overpowered because they are not mutant, because they are not designed. Their weapons and weapons are not designed to fight aliens, but mutants. One of them, who was disappointed in the X-Men, eventually frees the mutants. And a massive brawl ensures, killing Magneto's two mutant friends, most of the Bari, and and a soldier that got Nightcrawler into a frenzy. Eventually, Jean is freed, and she has a final clash with the Bari forces and Vogue the Queen. As the Queen ends up touching Jean and trying to absorb the power, it's too much, and she dies. Eventually, Jean realizes that her powers are no longer that her powers are too dangerous. Goes up into space, sacrificing herself, and apparently dying in an explosion. Let's see. As it turns into a giant phoenix. In the aftermath of the incident, the X-Men school is named the Jean Space School, and Hank becomes the new headmaster. the Savior having retired, and the rest of the student. Let's see, the X-Men becoming teachers. Or let's see. And the movie ends with Charles and Eric having a game of chess, like the end of the first X-Men movie. And let's see. And in the background, we see a phoenix in the sky. So, Jared, your thoughts on the movie?
Oh, where do I start? I think it's I think it's better than Last Stand. And again, that's not saying much.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't that great overall. Like as I joked about, the franchise has definitely had its ups and downs. I would say more downs than ups.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff with like the stuff that made it sort of doomed from the start was the guy who wrote Dark Phoenix also ended up writing Last Stand. The ending had to be redone because it was too similar to Captain Marvel's. Just stuff like that. There were a lot of basic choices they could have made to make the film better. Overall, I would say most of the acting is solid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of music, can't really remember that much of it. Then again, that's most superhero films nowadays.
Yeah. Honest, it was a bit hard trying to remember the plot of this movie. I mean, it's that forgettable, really.
What else?
I think for me, this is probably the most, the least entertained I've been in a movie all year. It's probably the weakest film I've seen all year. Let's see.
My whole thing with the plot is I can sympathize from where Beast is coming from because a lot of it is down to charge of the competence that he's not willing to admit actually happened. And that a lot of this would have been a lot easier if he actually listened to the rest of the team.
Fair enough. Because I believe it was Simon Kinberg, who's always been the producer and sort of like movie runner of the series, has ended up directing for the first time, writing, this one, and producing it.
Yeah.
Because usually, I believe, the film is like usually directed by Bryan Singer, but I think he's no longer in the project, and I think he had a recent bit of controversy, from what I can tell.
Yeah, but one of my main gripes with the film is Charles was just unnecessarily an asshole most of the film.
Yeah, let's get into a bit of the characters a bit, because it seems like Charles Xavier was completely out of character from what we've seen him in the last few films. I mean, I can possibly see him doing the mind thing, but everything else just seems a bit un-Charles-like. But yeah, it's like this is supposed to be the he's supposed to be the Martin Luther King of X-Men, of mutants. I mean, that's who he's often compared to, at least in terms of the characters in the comics and stuff. Let's see, but yeah. Let's see. He's supposed to be like the mentor figure, the Yoda or Obi-Wan or the Dumbledore. I mean, I do think him being flawed and like trying to protect Jean might work, but I feel like everything else with like his ego just seems a bit much. I mean, it feels like maybe if it was like a younger Charles, I could see him having a bit of an ego, like in First Class. But he should have gone out of that and stuff. Let's see. Anyways,
yeah.
Sorry, what?
No, I agree with you.
Let's see. What about let's see. The villain of the movie was an absolute bore. They're probably the worst one in the franchise that I know of, because I haven't seen the Wolverine, but but I think most people usually enjoy that movie for the most part. Let's see.
Yeah. Whenever I first watched it, I thought, okay, here's your motivations. Okay, this has potential. They didn't go anywhere with it. They could have. I don't know, they could have made it a whole commentary on how power can be misused and how people can be manipulated, but They didn't really do all much.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem like it. Let's see. Sorry, go on.
In fact, I would say the film didn't really need a villain.
In many ways, you're probably right, at least in that regard. Let's see. I mean, let's see. Not to mention the villain was very bland. Let's see. I mean, people complained about the early stage MCU villains, but at least I can remember like their abilities and fights and stuff. This one is
Yeah.
probably the most forgettable Marvel villain that we've seen yet. I think even the Dark Phoenix and like the Evil Jean Grey and like Last Stand had more, let's see, performance and personality than this. Speaking of Jean Grey, sorry, what?
Right, this is also a personal nitpick, right? The early X-Men films are meant to take place in the 2000s. You have the guy who plays Magneto, or you have Ian McKellen, he's like 60, 70. How do you go from Michael Fassbender to Ian McKellen in 10 years? Just a personal gripe.
Oh yeah, let's see, Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if let's see, X-Men films 1 to 2, just like Last Stand and Wolverine Origins, no longer canon because they've kind of mucked up their entire timeline. Heck, I'm even wondering if Logan is its own separate timeline at this point. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, but it's kind of like what let's see Deadpool said in the first Deadpool film. McAvoy and Stewart. These timelines are real confusing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and I'm not sure if we want to talk about the Disney switchover yet.
Yeah, let's see. Clearly, some of this has probably been influenced by the Disney switchover thing. But let's see. But yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But let's see. So Jean Grey. Let's see. What do you think of Sophie Turner as Jean Grey? Let's see.
I think she tried to make the best out of what she was given for a script.
Yeah.
I would say she was pretty threatening at points. I just think the character was badly written and badly acted. I think she did okay.
Yeah, I feel like she was trying to portray Sansa in this movie. Like if Sansa had like mutant powers. But yeah, it was superpowers. But yeah, let's see, Quicksilver. I don't even know the point of having this character in the movie. You had him at the beginning, and then you had him knocked out.
It's pretty sad because he's one of my favorite X-Men characters.
Oh yeah. Not to mention in the MCU, he's dead.
Let's not get into what I think of MCU Quicksilver.
Yeah, partly because I'm pretty certain because of the whole Fox and Marvel fiasco. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll bring him back. I'm not sure, or I don't know. But let's see. But never mind. But this might be the last time we see Quicksilver on the big screen for probably a very long time.
I don't know. Right, my opinion is, if you want to sack every single Fox actor and just go completely new, I would agree with that. But just keep the guy who played Quicksilver. Have him play some other superhero. Just keep that actor.
Fair enough. Let's see. We could always make him a second Quicksilver. I don't know. Let's see. Marvel has been doing a lot of legacy characters as of late, but hey. Let's see. But they're probably going to bring in Deadpool somehow, but yeah. Anyway, who else? Oh, yeah. Nightcrawler. He seemed to have a little bit of an arc towards the end of the film when that one soldier that was disappointed in him because his son looked up to the X-Men. But then when he freed them, he got killed, and then Nightcrawler went into a sort of rage mode during that train fight scene.
I would say, again, just a little nitpick, but my whole thing with that was I thought that was cleared up in the rest of the films to where he doesn't really get angry anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, the film, in terms of violence, was brutal, especially on the train scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was just unnecessarily violent.
Yeah. Funny enough, the train scene is actually the one thing that I can remember from the movie and even enjoy. Because for once, I actually kind of see like all the X-Men going out with their powers for a bit. Now, granted, I feel like Storm is still being underplayed when she's supposed to be one of the most powerful X-Men ever. Which, let's see. Also, they didn't really go anywhere with her like conflict with Jean Grey, really. Let's see, like thinking that she's beyond redemption and all that stuff. She can't come back when she was arguing with Scott. But then just goes with like the X-Men team to go save her. In some ways, in some ways, I felt like maybe she should have had like Beast's role, where, let's see, Beast. Well, granted, let's see. I guess I can understand Beast being very angry with like Mystique dying because because he loved her and stuff. Let's see. But did you feel like Beast was a bit too vengeful and stuff?
I could see where he was coming from with what he was doing.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of the relationship, you said it was developed off screen. I do think that sort of you should have still had more of it on screen because it feels like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same with Cyclops and Jean Grey as well. I have to be honest. I mean, we know that we know that they're a couple from the first two X-Men films, and even in the comics. Well, granted, it's telling the entire history of the comic relationship is going to be a complete mess because time travel and clones and whatnot. But hey, let's see. I just didn't believe it in this film, to be honest. I mean, I believe. Let's see. I probably find Wolverine and Jean Grey more believable in the film series, to be honest. But granted, luckily Wolverine is not in this movie at all for the first time.
I mean, if you really wanted to have them sort of have an internal conflict, you could say she was a close teammate. You didn't really have to make them together. You could just say they were close teammates, and you could see where he's come from with that.
Yeah, like she's my best friend or something.
Yeah.
Because you can't have best friends who are not male and female who are not a couple. By the way, Hollywood, no one's going to blame you for that. Let's see, you don't always have to do romance in your films when there isn't need for any. Let's see. Oh yeah, Magneto. What do you think?
Again, I really like how Michael Fassbender does the character. But I don't know. I just think he was a bit. I wouldn't say he was a bit underused, but I'd say what was really the point of him being there besides, okay, this is the last film, we sort of have to have him here.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the final scene with him and Eric, him and Charles, is probably a fitting, really. But other than that, I don't really. But yeah. Not to mention, like, the age thing, as you probably mentioned. And I'm not going to even talk about those other two mutants, because I have no idea what their names are, or, let's see, if they're actually original characters or comic book characters, but they're just not memorable. And they're just kind of like the red shirts in terms of the good guys' side. The mutants who die from the bad guys.
Yeah. I was going to say something there.
Okay, go ahead.
What was it? It's her. It was a Magneto thing. No, it's gone.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see, what else? Let's see now. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. So, we had, for most part, a bland cast. For most generic villains, and let's see. Oh yeah, there's Mystique. We have yet to talk about Mystique. So, Mystique. I feel like, how do you feel about her death?
I would say it didn't happen. Well, no, it sort of had to happen for plot progression, but something about it felt a bit empty. From her playing the same character probably since the start. Well, yeah, since the start.
Since Fox brought back the X-Men.
Yeah, like it should have felt more impactful than what it did.
Yeah, in many ways, let's see. I think in some ways, I feel like the actress Jennifer Lawrence got sick of the mutancy of the role. From the looks of it.
Yeah, you could tell she just wanted to be over and done with it. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like just kill me off and let me be done with it. I mean, because I think when the films were becoming popular again. This was the only major known roles that she had, but then Hunger Games came along and she became super famous. And I think she's never really liked doing all that blue makeup, which is why I think they changed the design for her this movie.
Yeah, like that. I still like how it's done, but from someone who didn't really follow the film's production, it was a bit jarring. But I can see where she's come from because Apparently, she said with that amount of blue makeup, she was starting to come out in rashes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I recall, see, I think did she have to be completely naked to get all that makeup on her or something? I don't know.
They probably had some sort of suit over or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Let's see, because I know. Let's see, because Mystique in like the film series is a bit of a nudist. Well, at least she was until Jennifer Lawrence from Apocalypse to Apocalypse and stuff, because she was tired of.
I would say that I'd say that's part of the character of
Yeah.
the whole character development at that stage of I shouldn't be afraid to cover up who I am and all that stuff.
Fair enough. But yeah. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. So are there any parts of the movie that you like? But let's see. What's your favorite part of the movie, if you have any?
Again, probably the train sequence.
Yeah, I think that's the only one.
They got really creative with the camera angles and what they were able to do with everything. Like,
Yeah,
one
the choreography
scene,
is pretty good. Sorry, go on.
one scene that stands out to me is Magneto getting all the guns off the wall.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. Let's see. I like also how he crushed the train, killing like the second in command of those Debari lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, let's see. I think for the most part you saw all the mutants go out. Let's see. Also, let's see. Nightcrawler was also entertaining. Let's see. Storm, I felt like was a bit depowered once again, but let's see. I think the X-Men films have never really portrayed Storm well and all that stuff. But yeah, and Beast was also pretty good. Let's see. But anyway, what would you consider the worst scene in the film?
That's a hard one. I would say probably the sequence to where. No, what was? I'm not too sure about this one. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
Fair enough. For me, it'd probably be either like the first fight that between the two mutant factions had outside the thing, where it felt like some of the stuff they did seemed like unnecessary, such as Magneto raising the train, or maybe just the death of Ritzy Mystique, because it should have. I feel like a character that you've known for like, let's see, the last 3 movies in this new timeline, and like from the original 3 X-Men film trilogy. Felt like Ritzy didn't feel like it had the impact that it should have. I mean, I'm pretty certain, let's see, when you've seen Endgame and the 2 deaths from like, let's see, spoilers by the way, if anyone who has not seen it at this point, even though I'm pretty certain the entire country has seen, let's see, the deaths of Natasha and Tony Stark had a lot more impact to me than the deaths in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was the directing or the story that made it feel a bit flat. I'm not sure where it was the acting, but it was just something you could have made that emotional. But I'm not too sure on what made it as flat as it was, because I think it was pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain more people felt more emotions from the death of maybe Cyclops in Last Stand and Professor X in Last Stand.
Yeah.
And maybe even Jean Grey in that movie. But yeah. Let's see. Ooh, so anyway, let's see. From the looks of it, it seems like this X-Men movie is tanking at the box office, making only like a few million during its opening weekend, and it's only just made 200 million. Only just made its budget in the box office from the looks of it.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be another Endgame to where it's on like 200 or 2 billion second highest grossing film as of recording this.
Yeah, it might just be Avatar, but we have to wait a few more weeks.
It's like 50 million away last I checked.
Yeah, let's see. Here's hoping. Let's see, but I must admit, I'm still surprised by the box office numbers of that movie. I never thought. Sorry, go on.
I seriously think Marvel's keeping it in there just to beat Avatar because it's been in there since April. I do think they're keeping it in there just to beat Avatar, and then they'll take it out then.
Let's see, fair enough. I know some guy, I think I heard a news story where some guys watched it over 110 times and plans to watch it 200 times. Which is like...
I've seen it twice, that's all I can say about it.
Fair enough, I've seen about 3 or 4 times, but yeah. But yeah. Let's see, but yeah, it's quite the finale, and this feels probably just as anticlimactic as Game of Thrones' season finale.
I do think in terms of giving it back to Marvel and Disney that they'll probably bring X-Men back into the MCU, but they'll have to wait like about 5 years just for the whole stigma of the Fox series to go away.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Though granted, I think Disney at Marvel didn't waste no time integrating Spider-Man into the MCU. And again, let's see. After all, Spider-Man is their biggest. Then again, Spider-Man is their biggest superhero character. Though granted, the X-Men.
I guess the face of the MCU, no?
Yeah, the face of Marvel. Let's see, but yeah. Though granted, let's see. Before the Avengers, the X-Men were Marvel's biggest superhero team, so they might try to integrate them quite quickly. Let's see, probably in like a year or two, maybe 3 years. Let's see, because I know that Wolverine is Marvel's second biggest merchandisable character. Let's see.
In my opinion, probably the X-Men series, if you really want to end on a good note, should have just ended with Logan.
Yeah, I feel like
that probably would have been a good ending.
Yeah, that's probably where they should have ended the film. Let's see, but yeah. Let's see, because I think most people probably like, let's see, First Class, Days of Future Past, let's see, X-Men 1 and 2, Logan, let's see, maybe Wolverine, Deadpool, and Deadpool 2 and stuff. But I feel that Deadpool's probably going to end up being part of the MCU, which is going to be interesting to say that.
I don't think they'll bring back Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. They'll have to obviously censor all the adult stuff since it's Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You can have swearing in Marvel, but that's about as far as you're going to go.
Okay. Or they might just let him do one more Deadpool movie and then they do their own version of Deadpool. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because usually superhero movies get a trilogy. Usually, I mean, with the Amazing Spider-Man failed to do its trilogy. That's because it's trying to set up a cinematic universe with only Spider-Man characters. Or it seems like that Sony's trying to do it again with more like B-level villains from Spider-Man with Venom. Yeah.
I would say just like Disney handle the Marvel films.
Oh yeah.
They seem to be the good ones at it.
Yeah. Granted, let's see. It seems like DC is finally getting its steam rolling. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see now. What else? Yeah. So yeah, we both agree that Logan should have probably been the final film of the franchise. Maybe except for one or two Deadpool films or that stuff. I do know that another let's see, X-Men like film called New Mutants is supposed to be coming out and it's supposed to be a horror. But I'm just not sure if anyone's going to go see it because I'm pretty sure most people are thinking, since Disney bought out Fox, point in watching these movies, I just want to see them into the MCU.
Yeah, like my whole worry with the MCU is you've been leading up to Thanos since the first Avengers, really. Thanos is gone, his whole army's gone. How are you going to make a bigger threat than that? That's sort of my worry.
Besides Thanos, let's see, other big shot villains that Marvel has is Doctor Doom. In fact, he probably might be the most natural successor if they want to do Secret Wars. Let's see, Galacticus, because now they have the Fantastic Four back. Let's see, and a Planet Eater is pretty intimidating, I will say. Let's see, and not to mention now they probably have the X-Men back. Let's see, and they might end up doing, adapting or semi-adapting their comic book event called Avengers vs. X-Men. I'm pretty certain people might, granted, first they probably build up the X-Men because originally I knew that the MCU tried to originally build up the Inhumans as their versions of the mutants, but X-Men fans were not having it, and also the TV show did poorly and it got cancelled. So yeah,
I would say you could easily do those films for like one Avengers film, but I'm not sure if you could make a whole saga out of it.
Let's see, what saga out of what?
Like, you have the whole Thanos saga, Infinity Saga and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can make a whole saga out of any of those films necessarily, but we'll have to see.
Let's see. I feel like at the moment the best one would probably be Doctor Doom. Let's see, but yeah, but yeah. But yeah, we'll see. But I think at the moment Marvel will be experimenting, and they'll probably do the same with X-Men. Now, granted, I'm pretty certain that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is probably they'll probably have a hard time trying to beat.
I mean, like, in terms of the Avengers now, it has potential since basically all of them are out of commission. Two of them are dead. One of them's too old. One of them's arm can't use. There's a lot of potential there. We'll just have to see how it choose. Like, you could probably have some Avenger or some X-Men end up joining the Avengers.
Let's see.
That's happened in the comics, but we'll have to see.
Let's see. It's possible. Let's see. They might do the New Avengers comic book stuff because there's a comic book where New Avengers was Spider-Man, The Thing, Iron Fist and Power Man, War Machine. Yeah, I think they ended up being part of the New Avengers. Though, granted, I think Iron Man and Captain America were there, but they're gone now. But yeah, I definitely see that for like a future Avengers movie, you're probably going to likely see War Machine, Scarlet Witch, possibly the Hulk, probably the new Falcon as Captain America, probably Bucky along with them. Oh, granted, I believe Sam are getting their own Disney streaming series. But yeah, granted, there's been.
Go on.
No, go on first. Let's see.
This sounds a bit weird, but I can see. It sounds a bit weird to say, but I can see the Marvel films get a lot more comicsy now. So you start out more crossovers. You start experimenting with different franchises even more.
Yeah. I mean, because they have been doing that a bit with, like, Phase 3 of the MCU. For the most part, a lot more crossovers there. Yeah, and it's probably going to be a lot more once you get like the X-Men films. Yeah, X-Men is in, but yeah. But anyway, probably back to the Dark Phoenix thing. As a fanatic, but yeah, now, what else is there to talk about? Ooh, I think we've probably covered much of what we wanted to talk about. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would say we covered a lot out of it.
Fair enough. So,
what else we could say?
Let's see. I guess we could give our final thoughts on the film and maybe let's see what score we give it out of 10.
Sure. I would say it is better than Lost Island. Again, that's not saying much. It has its moments, like the train scene. Some of the conflict was good. Some of the characters were good. But I would say it was a bit of a disappointment, and a lot of that was from the start. By the way, it was, if you ever look into how it was handled, the way it was developed, who was involved in the project, a lot of problems arose there.
Do you know some of the project problem, who was involved in stuff a bit? Because I don't quite know exactly myself. Sorry.
I think it was the director, was the same director who, or one of the producers was the same one who did Last Stand.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you have somebody from the failed film working on the next film, redoing it again, you're more likely to have a failed.
Fair enough.
They had to reshoot the ending because
I heard of reshoots.
The same as Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, I think there's one scene that's probably going to make some people compare it to Captain Marvel in terms of identity politics. When like Mystique is arguing with like Charles Xavier, saying instead of X-Men, you should name it the X-Women because they do all the work.
I've seen a lot of people compare it to Umbrella Academy. That story, if you've ever seen that. To where basically the main character is told, there's not much special about you, and then it turns out to be the most powerful one, and ends up going on a rampage. The stories are very similar there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I would say it had potential, but it was there from the start.
Oh yeah.
Because let's see. I would say overall 5 out of 10.
Fair enough. Let's see. For me, this is the most boring film in the franchise. Let's see. This is probably the most boring film I've seen all year. Probably also the most forgettable film all year because I'd struggle saying it. It's not. It's not the bang people want for the X-Men to go out on. May wish that the film series just stopped with Logan and maybe just have one or two more Deadpool films, which we got. Let's see, and we're probably going to get at least maybe one more. Who knows? See, I have no idea if I'm going to watch that New Mutants horror film that they're doing, even if that film is still in production or not. I don't know. They're still good for it. Let's see. The music was. I don't know. I can't remember the music, and Hans Zimmer's music is usually really good. Then again, I thought he stopped doing superhero music after Dawn of Justice. But hey, let's see. Probably missed some of these characters. Some of them I just don't even remember that much. But let's see. For me, the best score you can give is a 5 out of 10. The worst, probably a 3 or 2. But I'm going to give it a 4 because I like the train scene. I thought some of the performances were okay, but there's just like a lot of that just did not work in this movie, such as the villain, and all that stuff. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the fact, they don't even have, if it wasn't for the fact that the X-Men were originally wearing some, costumes at the beginning of the movie, even though they're probably the most blandest ones they had, I was wondering what happened to the ones they had at the end of Apocalypse. I thought they would be keeping those, but I kind of feel like, if it wasn't for the fact that they've removed the X-Men title in this film, and along with team outfits towards most of the film. I feel like this is like you could forget that this was a Marvel X-Men movie or something because most people are just wearing casual clothing and all that stuff. They completely abandoned it. In fact, you could probably even compare it to Chronicle in some ways. But yeah.
Oh, I just remembered one thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit sad to say. I think it's the only Marvel film without a Stan Lee cameo.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the very few films without a cameo. Well, granted, according to the Wikipedia page, I believe that, the most famous X-Men writer, Chris Claremont, has a cameo, and apparently, Colossus was supposed to appear in this film. And I think the character who, played Psycholock in the last film was also supposed to appear. But there was some, scheduling conflicts due to the film The Predator. But yeah. But yeah. Yeah, let's see. It's such a shame, really. Because this film series, it's got an interesting history. It started off, really well. Probably considered the film series that began the superhero genre that eventually led to the MCU and stuff. Because I believe this movie made superhero movies popular again after the failures of Batman and Robin and Quest for Peace for Superman.
Yeah, it didn't deserve to go out like this.
Yeah, let's see. Went from good to bad to good again to bad again. But yeah, let's see. But let's see who knows. Let's see what the MCU can do with these characters, and that's all I have to say. Thanks for joining me, Gerard, and thank you for everyone who ended up watching this, even if it was only for a while. That'll be it. Let's see, signing off now.